Quick story time. So there's this guy at my job. I'm going to give him a name for content's sake. He's John. So John had some issues with his document last year that prevented him from working for about 6 months. I found out about this situation 3 months in, and I know how difficult time is. So I wanted to renew a document that was expiring in advance, and I've been waiting for 2 months. So God noticed my frustration. I went to God. I talked to God about it. And God asked me, have you ever thought about John's situation? Have you ever prayed for John's situation? At that moment, I felt like, wow, that's so true. I felt selfish. I felt like I could have because I understood the time and the situation. We're not friends, but we're cool. God didn't condemn me. He told me to pray for him. So during my prayer session, God told me to pray for him and record it. At this point, I'm like, this is me. Why would I record it? I was tired, no excuse, but I still went into prayer. When I was praying, God says, I want you to pray that he's released this week. I was like, this week? Okay, let me pray. My spirit says, even tomorrow. I was like, at this point, I'm pushing the envelope. This is my emotions. All right. When the spirit says tomorrow, that means 10 hours away from going to work. I'm like, maybe this week, not tomorrow. However, I was obedient to say everything, but I was disobedient in recording the video. Fast forward, I got to work, and on my lunch break, guess who is behind me showing up for after 6 months? John. When I tell you the spirit of disobedience, the spirit of regret, the spirit of why, all I had was shock. At that moment, I realized why God told me to record it. All I had in my mouth to say, I was praying for you yesterday. I was praying for you yesterday. John was looking at me like, what? Mind you, I didn't talk to John. I didn't call John. I don't have John's number. So why would I be praying for John? You get what I'm saying? I understand now what that impact would have done to John's life. You don't believe in my God. You believe in another God. Here I am as a Christian, not your friend, praying for God to give you something that he eventually did for you. And I don't know you. So why would I be doing that for you? That's what my video would have done for John. So when I realized that, I kept walking around with this guilt and shame that I was disobedient. Every time I see him, I remember why I feel this regret of not listening to the Spirit. So this past weekend, the loving Father that I serve allowed me to say all I'm saying to you, to John, directly, and then allow me to minister to him and share a little bit about my life. I'm not perfect, but with Jesus, he changed my life, and I was really praying for him. John had some questions. John listened to me. I feel relief. I don't feel that burden anymore, and that's because God is good. I forgot to mention, I asked John on that very same day, when did you know you're going to come to work? And he said, few hours ago. Yesterday, he received the email. Moral of the story, do what God tells you to do, even when it doesn't sound right, doesn't make sense. His thoughts are now our way. Quick story.